Kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. Check, we Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elder, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like them other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Face, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's backpack, capital one. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man, A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty, and you're watching Off Script. All right, listen, there's over 70 people in here. Make sure you get my likes up. Stop playing with me. Get my likes up. Get my likes up. Get my likes up. Listen, I don't know. We've been out of commission for a while. What was 31st? Let me see. We ain't been on this show for a good little minute. We've been out of commission for a while, but we back. better than ever. All right, introducing the one and only Mr. Kofi Emaway. What's going on, Kof?
Let's go. What's up, man?
What's good, man? Talk to me.
Hey, man, it's been crazy, man, dealing with all these crazy weather changes and everything going on, bro. It's been amazing, but hey, we here.
We here. Hey, look, God has let us see another day.
Listen, bro. Hey, Shy, listen.
Oh, you already on that foolishness.
Yeah, you don't understand, bro. Look, I went to a funeral today, bro, and you have to be able to celebrate life, but that's every fair. Once in a while, bro, you come across stuff that happens in church that you just find extremely funny. So,
like what?
Okay, see, you said like what? So
we all interested. You know what I'm saying? Hey, get my likes up too while you playing.
All right. So at the funeral, everybody got on masks and everything, right? So everybody's in there, and everybody's talking about the man that passed, and so the guy comes up there and he says this little piece, and then they had a person on the front row with a big Lysol can. So as soon as these people got through speaking, the Lysol ministry came up there and then went back.
The spray. So they sprayed the seat where he got at?
No, they sprayed the air where the person was, and then the next person comes up and then they speak after they got done.
So they didn't spray the mic or anything. They just sprayed the air.
They just sprayed the air. I'm just like, you're spraying that one little spot. It's 200 of us in here. Like, why are you spraying that one little spot with your one can of Lysol? Like, what do you think that's going to do?
Lord have mercy. Lord,
I'm like, bruh. But listen,
black people,
you have no idea, bro. I've been in a service, bro, where the this mentally challenged lady comes up and she gets the microphone during testimony service. So she goes, I just want to testify. Everybody like, go ahead on. So she goes up there. She starts singing a little song like they used to do back in the day. Why your head down, man? Your head is down. So she goes,
go ahead.
My body belongs to God. My body belongs to God. My body belongs to God. My whole body belongs to God. My arm, it belongs to God. My arm, it belongs to God. My arm, it belongs to God. My whole body belongs to God. So then she goes, my titty my titty belongs.
We cut mics. 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 I'm straight pulling blood.
Pastor was like, get the mic, get the mic. Get the mic.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, something is wrong with you. Listen, I just don't want to be close to you when you get struck. That's all. I just don't want to be close. Don't want to be close to you.
Listen,
when you get struck, bro.
Listen,
I don't want to be nowhere near you.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. I've been on having because I had to sit on the front row, doing a lot of this stuff. So people be up testifying. This lady got up. She was like, listen, I'm here to tell y'all that the devil thought he had me. But when she said, her wig came off in the air, bro. It was like the devil took her wig off and she was I'm here to tell you all that last night I was wrestling with the enemy. I was wrestling with him. And the devil thought he had me. Oh my God, her wig came off, bro. We had a guest evangelist there and everything, bro. I was sitting there like, dude.
Oh man.
But nothing tops the mentally challenged lady testifying. I'm telling you right there. When she got up there talking about my whole body being
okay. We got it. Let's move on, sister. Let's move on. Thank you, sister. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Something wrong with you. I'm not about to be nowhere near you when you, boy. You gonna answer for this. You get to the gates.
It wasn't me. I'm just telling you what happened.
Nah. Listen, when you get to the gates, God gonna be like, "What was that again? Yeah, go sing that song again." Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's get into it. All right. And it's kind of, I'm so sorry. Lord have mercy. This I didn't mean it for it to start off like this, guys, but it did. I didn't know Kofi was gonna be Mr. Funny Man, and then we gotta talk about freaking why are you hiding everybody's comments?
I'm not hiding nobody's comments.
It says was hidden by Kofi.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to understand what's going on. I don't know what happened.
Why are you hiding comments?
I don't know what happened. Unhide. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to scroll, and that's what happened. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay. So anyway, let's get into it. HBCU bombings. I didn't really want to go that way, but it just seemed to happen. I think last week, during National Signing Day, a couple days before National Signing Day, multiple HBCU schools had bomb threats called into them. A lady, I know you wanted to bring this topic up. I totally forgot on the last one. And then a lady was like, Scotty, she texted me, Scotty, are you going to talk about those HBCU bombings? Because I just think it's the PWI people giving it to us. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. But there's something behind this because for it to only be happening to HBCU schools, we know what it is. But what were your opinions about it?
This is a very, not to scare anybody, but, the Bible says that in time for peace, you have to prepare for war. And I think that it's important for us to understand that everybody don't like us, and there are groups. For instance, in Tallahassee, we had a neo-Nazi group that's walking through one of our parks, and they're doing some type of training. So it's like neo-Nazi skinhead groups walking through the park doing training exercises. I'm like, what y'all training for? Just because, seriously, because because you don't hear about it, don't mean that people aren't planning your demise. So it's important for our people and just the community at large to just stay diligent, stay focused.
Yeah.
FAMU was bombed back in 1999. This guy came in with a pipe bomb in the Perry Page Auditorium, put the bomb off in the bathroom, went off. They found him or whatever, and he's been sentenced to basically life in prison. He ain't getting out no time soon. But still, just to have to go through that at a university, you think you're dealing, you would like to think that everybody in the world is sane, but the reality is people are not, and they believe what they want to believe. So you have to really step up your security. You have to really step up your awareness. You have to step up your focus to make sure that our campuses are safe, because just because it's a delivery truck don't mean that it's a delivery truck. I mean, really, everything after the 9/11 has changed everything. I mean, you have to look at, just the people and the way those people charge the White House, bro. You don't think they're going to come after HBCUs at some point? Come on.
No, that's definitely that's definitely a good point, especially with the excitement brewing, with different schools picking up great talent, with Coach Prime bringing in the number one player from a PWI across the street from you guys, might I add. All right. And the awareness and attention being brought onto HBCUs by Coach Prime. So I definitely understand that. And it definitely was a damper, but it didn't stop anything. And I saw a lot of players and a lot of alumni and fans, rallying around like, hey, let's not let this mess up, the excitement that's building for National Signing Day and all the good things going around National Signing Day as well. So shout out to them and fans. Now listen. All right. So story time.
Story.
Since you want to tell us, since you telling us, it's not no mental issue, but so I grew up in the DMV area when the
World Trade Center, Pentagon,
the DC sniper.
Oh Jesus, bro!
So I grew up in the area, and this is what bothers me. They call him the DC sniper, but most of his victims were in Maryland, right? So, I get. Let me tell you a couple stories about that time. I was in middle school at that time, and the first time somebody got shot. Me and my best friend Mario at school, we was in the same class. So we in the class and we just hear kid after kid after kid being called to the main office. And we're just like, we just like, it was like 5 black people and like 20, probably 22 white and mixed kids or whatever, right? So they're like, can you send Jimmy to the main office? Can you send Catherine to the main office? Can you send William to the main? And we see the numbers. I mean, like like some people just be leaving, but the whole class. So it was only like 5 black kids left, and we just like, yo, what is going on right now, right? So we go out, we talk to a teacher, and she's like, yeah, somebody got shot in the Tacoma Park area. Right. So we looking around like, you think your mama gonna come get you? Like, you think your mama come get you? So we at the top of the school, and we had to go the whole day. Me and my homeboys had to go the whole day to school. So at this time, we didn't know what the person was in or whatever. So we had to we left the school and we got to walk home. All right. So we live close enough to walk home, but it's like a good 3 miles, to walk home.
Wow. Man,
listen, we all hugged each other. We all hugged each other. We was like, hey, man, be safe, bro. Hey, man, be safe, bro. Hey, man, be safe, bro. And the ducking and dodging, well, we was like James Bond, like,
listen.
Crazy, bro.
That's scary. But
it's crazy.
The mere fact, though, is that the crazy thing is that our gun laws in the United States are jacked up. And that's really the bottom line. And our government is too afraid to challenge or take away some people's necessary or what people think, take away their freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
I hate guns. I mean, I understand people having a right to protect themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
To bear arms. But why do you have a goddamn assault rifle? Not one. You got 20.
Or it's a
30
amount. Yeah, just a ridiculous
40 amount. Assault rifles in your home. Like, what are you preparing for?
Bro, Armageddon.
Who's gonna invade your house?
Nobody.
But people do this, man, and we just, nobody is no red flags. Everybody's just like, boom. There's no mental health checks. You can just go in and just buy a gun. You can get a gun from a pawn shop, for God's sake, and there's no check to see whether or not you have the right to have a gun. Scary.
It is. It definitely is. It's definitely crazy out there. But everybody be safe, man. Everybody be safe. All right. Let's get to it. Swag schedules.
The swag schedules.
Swag schedules. Cupcakes. Let's get to these cupcakes. Let's get to these cupcake schedules Bama's out here, mate. All right, listen, I couldn't get everybody's schedule, but I wanted to get the 2 main. I'm gonna show you the standard, and then I'm gonna show you the cupcakes. Okay, so that's just my personal opinion. So
okay,
so however you feeling. So starting off with the standard of what a real schedule to me would look like is none other than Alabama A&M. All right, they got UAB, Troy, Austin P. Then they get into conference play with FAM, Bethune-Graham, UAPB, Alabama State, Valley, JSU, and Texas Southern. All right, I think this is a great schedule. What about you, Kofi?
That's a tough schedule, bro.
It is.
September is brutal. I'm all for playing tough competition and getting your team ready to play tough teams, but mentally, it's important for your team. I believe that it's important for your team to have a balance and to have some success. And that's a tough schedule, bro. But I like the fact that they are willing to get out there and compete, because I think that if things really fall right, they can compete with UAPB, Troy, and they should definitely beat Austin P. Let me just put that out there. They should beat Austin P. It won't be easy, but they should beat Austin P.
That's fair. That is fair. I absolutely love this schedule. I don't think anything. I think the UAPB game could go wrong, but it could also go right. You know what I'm saying? It can be 40-10, or it could be 28-21. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be, 35-20. It can go right. But you at the same time is, it's not a game that you're expected to win. So I think with games when you're not expected to win, I think teams can play a little bit loose. You know what I'm saying? I can see where I can go with it. I can, you don't want to make it to where what I mean by loose is that you can try some things. You know what I'm saying? You don't, like I said, you don't want to.
No pressure doesn't hurt you in the conference standings.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you still want to challenge your team. You want to challenge your defense, especially for A&M. You definitely got to challenge your defense to see what they can bring out, how they step up, how they handle the competition. Because I look at it like this: if your defense has been the problem, and your defense can hold UAB, I'm not saying they're an offensive juggernaut, but you can come out and if you can hold UAB under 35 points, 24, anything like that, that's a win. That's a win for your defense. So now you can go into conference play saying like, yo, we got something here. You know what I'm saying? Now, can we score? That's a whole nother topic. Troy, the way they did Southern, man, it might be just as ugly. But the Austin P game, I absolutely love. I absolutely love the Austin P game. I'm with you. I think that's a winnable game. And I think if you test yourself out with UAPB and Troy, and for some reason those games are competitive, you can definitely walk into the Austin P game and say, yo, we ready. And we can get it popping. I won't go into how we'll pick wins.
Yeah, we don't have to do that today, but I mean, it's
go ahead.
It's still I get the Alabama schools and playing those schools. It's not like Troy is Auburn or Alabama, but they are quite formidable, and they've beaten LSU before, so. That's a good squad. They understand how they want to play football. They have a strong tradition, and they've got a history with Alabama A&M. So I would like to see Alabama A&M really go in and really compete. Really compete. Let's hold it within at least 2 touchdowns.
Facts, big facts. All right, let's go in here. Next up, Cupcake number 1.
Who that is?
Southern with this cupcake ass schedule. All right, so they got Florida Memorial, LSU, Texas Southern, UAPB, PV, Alcorn, Virginia Lynchburg, AAU.
Who's Virginia Lynchburg?
AAU team. Jackson State, FAM, Valley, and Grambling at a neutral site. I absolutely despise this schedule. The LSU game saves it just a tad because we know what that is. It's a money game. So we know you're going to get demolished. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I absolutely despise the schedule. I think you could at least picked even if you kept, Virginia Lynchburg on your schedule, coming for the easy win, cool. But the Florida Memorial game could have been an FCS opponent. It really could have been a decent FCS opponent. And I absolutely can't stand the schedule. What you got?
I think that now, let me just say this about Flomo. Now, right now, people sleeping on Flomo. You have that ability. They're just a startup program, but I wouldn't sleep on them totally. They're going to have athletes, but Southern's going to win by 40 points. Let me stop tripping. All right. I would have liked to have seen Southern schedule a Southeastern Louisiana, McNeese, Nichols. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody.
Georgia State in Atlanta.
Jesus Christ.
Kennesaw State. North Alabama. You know, it's so many schools they could have scheduled. Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin. And they chose.
Bro, it's weak, man. It's weak. And he on here dressed like, you know, a sale, like a
Carlton.
Over here just like an insurance salesman, you know what I'm saying, realtor. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, get your schedule together, my boy. Get your schedule together. So this, to me, this is just trash, bro. Once again, it has nothing to do with the conference games. You got to play what you got to play for your conference wise. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the out of conference schedule. Bama's don't want to compete, man. And it's sad to see it. They're steady ducking FCS opponents in competition. Hey, make sure you like the stream. Let me see how many likes I got. I got 260 people on here with 91 likes. Make sure you like the stream. All right. You Bama's watching. You Bama's hating and watching. All right. Make sure you like the damn stream at least. All right. Too easy. All right. Going on to the cupcake number 3. All right. JSU. Now, listen, for all you Laxton State fans out there, this is my guess of who they replaced at Lane College. I'm guessing Edward, because that's the only game that's going to change on this schedule. So it still makes it trash. All right, so that's what we're doing. So my guess is they're picking Edward Waters College. I wouldn't expect anything less from a Coast Prime team. Duck competition. What you got on this schedule?
I've got a lot to say. I'm going to try and keep it brief.
We got time. You good?
Yeah. Jackson State, personally, I'm still pissed at the darn Southern Heritage Classic and the way that whole thing went down. But as a conference leader, I would like to see McClellan challenge our teams to schedule stronger FCS opponents, put them on our schedule. Preferably a team within a 2 to 3 hour radius, so that our fans, our SWAC fans, can attend those games within a reasonable amount of time. Southern has no excuse, and neither does Jackson State. Like UAPB or Edward Waters could have been replaced with North Alabama. They could have played a number of different schools on the schedule. Stephen F. Austin, as I stated, Sam Houston State. Are they Division I now? Are they FBS?
Yeah, they went FBS.
You know, it's too many teams that are out there. Now, I get Deion's thought process. I want to say I know Deion's thought process, which is to dominate on your level, and they're not dominating on their level. So it's rather than get out there and see exactly where they are, he'd rather just continue to try to build, I guess, whatever he's building. But
whatever he's building.
But I think that, you know, just really for me, trying to control that narrative. I just don't get the whole UAPB thing in Birmingham. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But you know, if they're able to come out of that with no expenses and they're getting paid, bless them, I guess.
You know, the UAPB, like, if I'm being honest, like the UAPB game doesn't really bother me as much because I know what it's for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. I know what you did it for. You did it for a check. It's understandable. You're broke. All right. Like, let's be real. Like it's not trying to be funny. It is what it is. You need the funding. You know what I'm saying? You need the money. So you take the check. Cool. Whatever. It's an easier money game than playing Georgia and getting your head beaten. You know what I'm saying? Like you come out with $500,000, $600,000, or maybe $1 million over 2 years. You can't beat that. So my issue is not really with that. the Grambling situation, because shout out to Paris, she called in and explained, you know, the 8 conference games, 3 out of conference. I get all that. The Grambling game is a huge money maker in itself. It's at the vet. It's going to be stupid packed. My thing is homecoming, right? And I know people say you're supposed to schedule a cupcake team. I just feel as though if it's first of all, the win doesn't matter. It does, because it's going to be an out of conference game. So it doesn't really matter. Does it look good to win at homecoming? Yeah. But does it really matter? No. And you're going to get the money regardless. People go come to the homecoming game regardless. So you could have scheduled a low-level FCS team for your homecoming. Like, let's just be real. You could have. And to me, it just tells me you're I'm sorry. It just tells me you're scared, because at the end of the day, you should feel that I have the #1 FCS class. Why should I be scared to play a low-level FCS team? And when I mean low level, I'm talking about Houston Baptist. I'm talking about real low level. Like, you can play one of them teams.
Wofford. Come
on, man. And it should be nothing. It really should not be nothing. All right. And for everybody who keeps saying this is not an official schedule, everything is locked in but the homecoming games. Shut up. Okay. You have an all SWAC schedule. There is no changing that. The only thing that's changing is your out of conference schedule. Your one game. Shut the hell up. You sound ignorant. Just like JSU Tigers Facebook page and Twitter, like this schedule is going to miraculously become good. Like, you're going to find 2 FCS teams on here. You're not. All your SWAC games are locked in. So miss me with the rest of that stuff. The only game changing is that weak-ass Lane College. That's it. And I think it's going to get even weaker by going Edward Waters. So miss me with that. So shut that shit up. All right? God, dog, man. Ignorant. Stupid stuff. All right. Southern Heritage Classic, Tennessee State. Where do they go from here?
Bruh, I mean, I know Tennessee State's president is A1 pissed, and I think she has every right to be. Mm-hmm. I think that in order for them to find a measure of common ground, they have to have a conversation. My issue with Jackson State was not the fact that they did what was in the best interest of their university. It was the way that they did what they did that made it extremely shady. The mere fact that you would not even give her a courtesy call or give them a courtesy call to say, hey, this deal is not working for us. I would like to see us renegotiate and see if we can, up the ante and see if we can make some things happen, because we value the Memphis market. We value the area, but we don't want to be shortchanged.
Yeah.
And I get it, but it takes balls to negotiate. It takes knowledge and it takes balls to negotiate. It takes a boldness to negotiate. And it's unfortunate that rather than try to work something out, they just took the low road and did what they wanted to do. And consequently, it's going to affect, because as much as people probably hate to admit it, Jackson State is the best fit for Memphis. The only other school that's really has the potential to pack that game out for real, only 2 other schools, would be Alcorn. Okay. Alcorn would do nice there. And Southern University would do nice. But it wouldn't be Jackson State, because Jackson State is freaking closer. Southern would bring a ton of fans to Memphis. It would be great. It'd be a nice atmosphere versus Tennessee State, but it's not going to take the place of Jackson State. So I understand, but here's the deal. This is the other reason why I had a problem with it. Yo dumb behind sat up there and signed the darn contract. So that tells me that you didn't do the necessary research to understand your value in an area, okay? If my school in this game is bringing over $30 million to the Memphis area, you best believe you're going to give my school 1.5 mil. You got to give us that. At least no expenses. That means you're going to pay for the boom. You're going to pay for my cheerleaders. You're going to pay for my football team.
Back.
I would even settle for $750,000 no expenses. Okay? But, you know, they are getting shortchanged. That's the reality of it. But, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can rework this deal because we value the relationship. The way that they did that says that they don't value the relationship. And Tennessee State, just the whole history with Tennessee State, is just out of the window. I don't know when these teams are going to play again, you know, and that's a shame, you know, given the history with John Merritt leaving Jackson State to go to Tennessee State. That's major. You know, and the rest is history there. Just the rivalry through the years, bro. It's to see that immediately just go down the drain without a conversation, in my opinion, was very disrespectful. It was downright shady and, you know, just really uncalled for. You know, most of all, it was just unacceptable, in my opinion, to be a quote unquote classy school. So that's my thoughts.
Listen, I've made my rant and rave on this channel numerous of times, and it's really simple for me. Like, I don't care what anybody from Jackson says. You didn't know your value. All right. And when Tennessee State was there for you, when nobody else was there for you, when you was 3-8, when they was mollywopping you for like 7 years straight, they didn't drop you from that. And a lot of people was like, well, you know, Jackson State, we were bringing the numbers. Okay. Like, then you should have knew your value when you were losing. So the mere fact that you got into that contract, you didn't know your value. And you can't tell me you did. And then when Ashley Robinson got in, he renegotiated to $350. You still didn't know your value.
Absolutely.
Because if you're jumping the game to go to UAPB for a guaranteed $500K, that means you feel your value is $500K. So you never thought you thought your value was $350, and the SWAT comes to you and says, hey, yo, we got a better value for you, $500K. And you're like, oh, that's our new value now.
That's not a lot of money.
It's really not, but it's the no expenses though. It's the no expenses. It's you know what I'm saying? It's the guaranteed. If nobody shows up, it's $500K. And I don't think many people are going to show up. So that's a guaranteed check. But you know, at the end of the day, and that's for any school in the SWAC. You got to know your value, bro. And
look, it's straight up, man. The whole classic game has been screwed up, I want to say, because our presidents, our ADs, our decision makers didn't do the necessary research for their institutions. You know, they were just happy to get a check. You know, even back in 1989 when FAMU played Tennessee State in Atlanta in the first Ebony Classic or the Atlanta Classic in Atlanta, the game sold out. When I say it was standing room only, it was standing room only in the top of the stadium. People were in the tunnel area watching the game. It was sold out. People were all over the streets everywhere. FAMU and Tennessee State walked with away, I think, a guaranteed check of $250,000. Absolutely ridiculous. Just utterly ridiculous. You know, now you take Florida State and Ole Miss, who played down in Orlando a few years back when Jameis Winston, I think they were coming off the national title year. They paid those teams $3.5 million in year one in the Citrus Bowl. Mm-hmm. Mind you, FAMU and Cookman have been in Orlando, and it is documented that FAMU and Cookman bring over $30 million to the Orlando market that particular weekend. Mm-hmm. Documented. The mayor said it. So for us to walk away with just 1.5 mil is ludicrous. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's like you have to know your value, and you have to be willing to open your mouth and say, this is what we're going to do. If not, we've got other places within the state that are just waiting to freaking hold this game, whether that be Miami or Jacksonville. Tampa, sure enough, wants the game. So you have to be able to put it out there so that people will respect your value or your willingness to negotiate. You know, but the Bible makes it plain, man. It's like people perish for a lack of knowledge, and it's that dumb spirit, that ignorant spirit that's killing, you know, our ability to make progress in this area.
What I would say is, and I think a lot of people, you know, who, you know, are maybe not our fans, but you know, what I will say about what Coach Prime brings is the corporate intellect. That's not a good word. I think that's
pretty good.
Because I didn't want to think like black people aren't smart. You know, I don't want to say that, but I just think he moves in a way to like, how do we profit? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you know what I'm saying?
You don't know what you don't know. If you've never rented out a stadium before, you know, because people are like, oh, you know, because most people that are even on this broadcast, you know, it's like, oh, I'm just going to the game. I'm going to the game, get my parking space, get my ticket. I'm going. Okay. But to the people that have to put on the game, understand that there are expenses to the game they experience. Okay. So I've got to make sure that there's enough security in the stadium and the parking lot. I got to make sure that there are enough vendors in the area and make sure that they're all under contract the right way. Okay. I got to make sure that the concession stands are fully manned. You know, I got to make sure that the bands get to the stadium. You know, I got to make sure that the football teams get to the stadium in the right amount of time. I got to make sure that my sponsors are getting the time that I said that they were going to get. You know, it's a whole list of things. I got to make sure that my VIP people that are coming to the game, sit in the press box, have their stuff. You know, so it's a whole gamut and layers of stuff that goes into putting on a big, huge event. You know, most of us just basically just enjoy the event, but the pain of it is bigger. But if you don't know what you're doing, you end up not profiting. You know, and you end up taking an L that you don't have to take if you have the people around you that know what you're doing, which is why it's necessary to engage people that are smarter than you.
Facts. And with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think what Dion brings is the sandpaper that makes everybody uncomfortable because they're challenging. He's challenging you to be like, why didn't you do this? Or why haven't you done this? Or why can't we do it like this? And even AD Robinson, to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying, challenges the narrative and things like that. And I think Charles McClellan is an innovator in itself. But I do think that when you add a variable like a Coach Prime, it just heightens everything, right? So what you thought might have took 5 or 6 years, Dion makes it. He
shortens the curve.
He shortens the curve. He makes it that much faster. The results get here way more quicker, and then you see, okay, we have the value. We can get this. We can do that. Now, what happens is this is the thing with these next few years with Hugh, Dion, and the transfer portal. The SWAC as a whole need to come up in just level of competition. That's why, see, people think it's just the hate of Laxton State. No, what you're trying to do is you're trying to build the SWAC brand to now stand on its own without celebrity coaches. So if Hugh leaves, if Dion leaves, and you go back to just getting regular coaches, people still respect your football. And not because you don't have celebrity coaches. So you going out and dominating with this level of talent, with this level of with eyes on, and your team, Laxton State being the top team, going out and playing top level talent, now brings the SWAC up in a new light. Now, but the kicker is this, right? It's no different than when Kobe Bryant left the Lakers, when Tom Brady left the Patriots, when Jordan left the Bulls. What are you going to do when they leave? And you have to prove that on a consistent basis. So you have to get used to playing competition that you're not used to. So your team understands, your crowds understand what goes into a game like that, or what's needed to win in a game like that. So it's just like that you're building, you're using building blocks to get to a point to how the SWAC stands on its own and not under is not held up by celebrity coaches.
Absolutely. Just going back to the original question, where do they go from here? I would like to think that cooler heads eventually will prevail and they will have conversations to see if we can get this game back. Mm-hmm. The other thing, obviously, is, the TSU people, in my opinion, really do need to confront the system. They need to confront the whole state in regards to what's going on with their conference affiliation, because it's apparent that the OVC is going nowhere. I don't know what they're going to do. So they're going to have to make a move one way or the other. Now, given this latest move, thanks Jackson State, there's a good chance, the leadership at Tennessee State is feeling some kind of way about it. It's like, is this the way that the rest of the SWAC people act? They're just going to make decisions and just go and do what they want to do, with this whole dishonorable behavior and stuff. I don't want to be a part of that. That's like crazy.
That's real.
I don't want to be a part of the negativity. I don't want to be a part of it. We're better than that. So I could literally see Tennessee State doing Atlantic Sun? Atlantic Sun, being a part of that whole little move.
The A-Sun. Yeah.
Being a part of A-Sun, and being a part of that little move, which, in my opinion, wouldn't necessarily be bad, but the SWAC is still the best fit for them, straight up. If they want to build their brand, the fact of the matter is they're averaging like 3,000 people at their home games, which is absurd in a major market like Nashville, that they're not able to capitalize on that more because of the bonehead decision to not confront the state officials, especially in this day and time. If I have the right to pursue life, liberty, and happiness and all that other stuff in the United States of America, I have the right to freaking go to whatever conference I want to go to, so long as it doesn't make the conference look bad. I'll make the state look bad. I'll put the school in jeopardy. Let's put it like that.
Facts. Hey, got 300 people in here. Make sure you like the stream. I only got like 100 something likes. Make sure you like the stream, guys, please, and thank you. You're sitting on here, you're watching. The least you can do is hit a thumbs up. All right, and take your lazy asses and hit the thumbs up button, like, for real. Because the thing that be killing me is that we probably got about 40, 50 people in the chat that's consistently chat. The rest 300 people are probably 300 Bamas from the SWAC group talking about some, I don't even watch off script. I can't stand off script.
Look, so let me go back to this whole Tennessee State thing. Because, SWAC people, a lot of us, we can be rather ornery and cocky about who we are. And I think that's great to understand that, but let's make some money. That's number one. The other thing is this. We need each other. Tennessee State needs a SWAC, but the SWAC also would benefit from having a Tennessee State. So let's not get it twisted, which is why cooler heads have to prevail. I'm curious as to the role of the Tennessee State alumni and the fan base in terms of what they're saying about this whole conference affiliation. The whole goal of having an athletic team is to make money, to generate revenue. So if you're not generating revenue or making money with your home games, having 2,000 and 3,000 people at a home game in a 70,000 seat stadium, I think that is utterly absurd. It's crazy. Like, why are you doing that?
Shout out.
When you would easily, with just Southern University alone, playing them in Nashville, you're going to get at least 25,000 in your stadium. You're going to get at least that. You with the right marketing team, that could increase to like 40. Same thing with Jackson State. It's we got a lot of work to do, man. But the only way this is going to happen is for enough people to have the necessary conversations. Conversations change seasons.
Is that supposed to be profound?
It is.
Nice.
Conversations shift seasons.
Yeah,
all the time.
a little better. That's a little better. The first one wasn't that profound.
Conversations shift seasons.
I like that's a little better. That's a little better. That's a little bit.
Shot. There we go.
All right, that's going on. NFL lack of diversity hiring. As we all know, I think currently there's only one black head coach in the National Football League.
They hired Lovey, man.
Lovey got hired today.
They hired Mike McDaniel. They say he black.
Once again, just two African American coaches.
2.5.
Two African American coaches. He probably put white on his birth certificate. Oh, he probably put white on his signing paperwork. I don't care. Or other. He ain't put African American. But what do you feel the NFL should do with the lack of diversity in hiring?
Obviously hire more black coaches. But in order for that to happen, see, the thing is, the owners are so rich and so powerful. It don't matter really what we think. They've made that abundantly clear. Even with the stupid, and I don't want to say it's stupid because I don't think the Rooney Rule is dumb. It had to be put in there just to make sure that people had a chance. But consequently, they just interviewed token Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Philadelphia interviewed Deuce Staley multiple times with no intention to hire the man. No intention to hire him. John Elway and them, they said, you know, and John Elway is not a racist, and I don't believe the owner is a racist, but they interviewed Brian Flores with no intention to hire the man.
I'm sorry. I saw this comment.
Flores crying racism and he's married to a white lady. Look, he went to Boston College. He's from New York, but he's very black. I mean, he made that quite evident.
Oh, that was funny. I'm sorry. I thought that was pretty funny. Go ahead. Continue.
You know, but that's what we do, man. You know, they ain't all the way black because they done married all they out there are marrying all these white women and everything. Well, the white women was nice to him and gave him some, and that's why he married. Anyway, so what we're talking about here is trying to get our people in position to do it. You know, Stephen Ross, or whatever his name is, the owner of our freaking team, who is getting on my last nerve, interviewed Mike Tomlin to be our head coach. Interviewed him. Didn't hire him. And Joker's never had a losing season in all of his years of coaching the team. So, quite frankly, there has to be, everything begins with the whole conversation of diversity. What is it? Why aren't you hiring black coaches?
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you afraid that they fail? Well, you hired sucky white coaches
all the time.
You do it all the time.
All the time.
Hire some sucky black people, you know, and don't let that stop you from hiring some sucky black people again.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why the whole thing with the whole claim that Flores put out there with Stephen Ross paying him $100K per loss, I believe him because, you want to have that number one draft pick, you were XYZ. But had he gone 0-16, he would have got fired and never had an opportunity to coach again.
Facts.
And Brian Flores showed that he can take a roster, a depleted roster, make that roster competitive, and find a way to compete at a very high level. He beat Bill Belichick in his first year without all of the people that they got rid of, man. I was like, that is freaking incredible. On the road with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and knocked them out of home field advantage, which gave the Kansas City Chiefs home field. You know, he was like, no, I ain't going no darn 0-16 just so we can get the number one pick. I'm not going to do it. And I say kudos to him, you know. But this whole lack of diversity just really goes back to, you know, who's at the negotiating table. You know, and who's having these conversations? We cry wolf all they want to. Jerry Jones ain't hired no black coach.
Yeah, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Listen, let me tell you. I don't know if I said this on my show before, but I say it. I'm saying.
Oh, fam, you beat Prairie View.
Oh, by a 3-pointer buzzer beater. All right, congratulations.
Shondo.
This is what I say when it comes to the Cowboys. Like, I wake up every day, I check ESPN, and if Jerry Jones is not on the head title, I know he's not dead yet. Like that's literally all I do. I'm not gonna lie to you. Every single day, I wake up. I bring up the ESPN app. I just hope I see Jerry Jones' face on the top ticker, because that means I know they won't have the dead date, you know, such and such to such and such. And I'm like, yes, like, whoo, we're gonna turn the page. But until that happened, when I don't see it, I'd be like, damn. And then I turn ESPN off and I just keep it moving. You know, that's literally every day. I do that every day just to make sure I don't miss it, because you know that's gonna be a huge day for Cowboys fans. It's gonna be a huge day for Cowboys. I'm dead serious. Like, people think I'm playing. It's gonna be
Can't you feel a brand new day?
it's gonna be like color purple until you do right by me. Until you do right by me.
Listen, man, just, you know,
I feel.
I really respect Jerry Jones. And to an extent, I have a strong affinity for him because the man gets it done, except on the football field. But every other area, he's really, really, really succeeding. He's a voice, you know, he's a voice of real change. You know, if Jerry Jones says do it, people actually, like, I feel like he's secretly, quote unquote, is the darn commissioner. Because whatever he say, you know, people be responding and stuff. But Jerry Jones, man, just, you know, that time when the whole Colin Kaepernick, my team is not going to get out there and we're not going to take a knee. You're not going to take a knee. In fact, if any one of these Bamas takes a knee, I'm going to fire him. Nigga won't be on the Cowboys anymore. I assure you that. You know, but he got out there and they all took a knee at midfield together. You know, I'm just like, what in the world is this, man? You know, these are strongholds that can only be torn down.
I'll say this. And we're gonna move on. If you haven't read Tony Dungy's letter to the NFL, it's amazing. It's a freaking amazing. Go find it. Go read it. It is an amazing letter that he wrote to the NFL owners and to the commissioner. It's absolutely amazing. If you get a chance, it's pretty lengthy, but it's a really, 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 really good letter. Definitely want to read that and get up on that.
See, the thing is, though, but people don't be responding. People want to hear all that nice, fuzzy stuff.
You can do what you listen. That's one of his avenues. You know what I'm saying? That's one of his avenues. He felt writing a letter, putting his words on paper, making it in public. You know where Tony Dungy stands, and he knows what he has seen over the years and things like that. So shout out to Tony Dungy for that. And
absolutely.
And last but not least, and then, hey, we're going to do this and then we're going to take callers, all right? Because I know it's pretty late. That's why I'm trying to move pretty quickly through this stuff. Take a few callers.
You are the only participant in the conference.
All right. Rams, Bengals, Super Bowl weekend this Sunday. Who you got and why?
The Rams are that team this year. This is their year. But you can't sleep on the Bengals at all. Just the Bengals line play. Is what's going to do them in at the end. Just the Rams have too much star power in the key spots, especially up front and in the trenches. And they're playing at home. They're going to find a way to win this game. But the Bengals are good. They're there for a reason. And, you know, they're going to be there for years to come. They're not going to necessarily win the AFC, but I'm going to say Rams 31-21.
Rams 31-21. All right, listen. The only playoff game I pretty much got wrong was the Cowboys. Can I just say that? The only game I've gotten wrong is the Cowboys. I'm going Bengals. All right. I can't listen. I think I will put my money on Matthew Stafford doing something wrong before Joe Burrow. Now, I think the Bengals offensive line has a tough task to deal with. Aaron Donald, you know, Von Miller and them boys. So I think it's going to be a tough task to get the job done. But I would
Jalen Ramsey.
I would put my money on Joe Burrow outplaying Matthew Stafford any day of the week.
He said any day?
Any day
That's
of the
bold, bro.
Any day of the week. So my
That's
score
bold.
is this. This is my score. My score is you said 30 euros is 31-21. I think it's going to come down to the kicker. I think it's going to be 28-34 Bengals. 34-28 Bengals. Bengals.
I like the Bengals now.
Oh, cool.
You know, but, bruh, just Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, you know.
I mean, if we're being honest, what has Jalen Ramsey really done this postseason? If we're being
Ain't
honest.
done a whole lot. But now, bruh, the Bengals wide receivers are going to make their plays.
Stay stupid. That's what they are.
They're going to make their plays. They're going to make some plays. But I just don't think that, you know, just that trench, bro, like the Rams' defensive line is just ridiculously good. And you couple that with Von Miller, that's going to be ridiculous. At home, it's going to be a lot to overcome.
Now, my issue is this. The NFL has to do something with them Super Bowl prices. They got to do something with them Super Bowl tickets. Did you see the price?
Bro, but you know, what happens is the corporate arenas, they purchase the tickets because they want to, you know, they reward their people or whatever they do. And the corporate companies buy the tickets, with the exception of a few fans that, you know, got it like that and just do what they do. But that's what goes on.
Man, that was ridiculous. I'm seeing them prices. I'm like, how
but
is
you could have had a darn press pass into the game.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, but ain't nobody trying to fly out to LA. And first of all, the hotel's going to be stupid. That's one. The hotel's going to be dumb.
Airbnb, bro.
They just as expensive.
Get a team of us and we'll go out there.
A team of y'all won't have press passes, okay? Let me say.
I don't have my darn press pass. You best believe I'm finna be up in that one of these networks around here.
Yeah, I might have to see what I can do. Next year, I'm gonna try to give me some.
Where is the Super Bowl next year? Is it in Vegas?
Probably. Let me take some phone calls. Hey, what's up, Mr. Ford? Talk to us.
Okay, you know, I got a whole lot of stuff to say here because there's a lot of stuff being said I need to respond to. Okay, first of all, let me say this. Go back and study HBCU history. 24,000 people were killed trying to maintain and save HBCUs. White America has waged a war on HBCUs since the 1850s. That goes back as far as Lincoln University. Actually, a lot of people think Lincoln is the oldest black school. It's actually Cheney State. Ever since then, white America has tried to destroy those black schools. That was an incident at a school called Talladega College in Alabama, where the Klan came on campus and killed white teachers. They lynched white teachers. Go back and study the history. Okay, Scotty, have you ever heard of the Book of Obadiah?
Negative.
Have you ever read that? You're a church guy, aren't you?
I mean, I go to church.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you this. According to the Book of Obadiah, the earth will never see peace until God takes down the white man, because he put the white man in the power position. So all this peace we talk about ain't going to be no peace until, like I said, the Bible say he takes down the white man. Now, let me get on. Now, this is what y'all going to tell me. Simply because Jackson State University is not playing a PWI, then their schedule is trash. Let me remind you of something. I watch Notre Dame every year with a trash schedule, and in some of them years with the trash schedule, they get to the Final Four. But y'all gonna say to me, like I'm stupid, that because Jackson State don't have no PWIs on there, then it's a trash schedule. I counted 7 quality games on that schedule. They open up with a quality game in Florida A&M. So Florida A&M is not quality. You've been bragging on Alabama A&M. They on the schedule. You've been saying that the big game against Jackson State, because they ain't playing a PWI, then the schedule is trash.
Mr. Ford, Mr. Ford,
now let me tell you what that is.
Mr. Ford, no,
Uncle Tom's Cabin. And one of the worst characters in that book is a black man by the name of Sambo. And I'm gonna say this to y'all: that's some Sambo thinking. That's what it is. That's a Sambo mentality.
Mr. Ford, can I ask you a question?
Because he wants to help. Wait a minute. Because he wants to help.
No, it's not. No, wait a minute. It's not. No, wait a minute.
College or
it's not. No, wait. No,
y'all got a problem with.
No.
You know what? I don't understand.
No.
See,
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Y'all suffer from that Stockholm syndrome.
Nope.
Y'all believe that white people are superior.
That's not what I'm saying.
Let me tell you something. That's a
lie.
lie.
Nope. That's not what I said.
All you got to do is go back and study world history.
That's not what I said.
Okay, let me tell you this right here.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Put me on the thing.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Let me say this about Tennessee State.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Tennessee State.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
What's that school called? Hampton and North Carolina A&T. They can kiss my ass as long as they in them white conferences. I don't give a damn what happened with them. Because they just like some of these Negroes. Because I keep telling y'all,
can I ask you a question?
66% of these Negroes in America ain't worth a shit.
Can I ask you a question?
33% of our people are trying to do the right thing. But the sad part is that the 66% that ain't worth shit, they are attacking the 33% that's about something. So as long as Tennessee State and North Carolina A&T and Hampton want to be a $10 hole for them white companies, the hell with them.
Can I ask you a question?
Now let me tell you this here, because I told you I know you won't have much time.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait a minute,
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Listen,
can I ask you a question?
Mr. Campbell, you said something about Florida A&M didn't make no money in Atlanta. You are absolutely right, because they had two leeches on their back. First of all, it was Tennessee State who wouldn't sell no tickets, but they wanted half the money. The other group of leeches was called the 100 Black Men. Thank God Florida A&M had a man by the name of Dr. Frederick Humphrey that brought that bullshit to an end. Okay?
Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford.
Now, all of a sudden, now you're talking about Brian Flores was married to a white woman. John Thompson was married to a white woman. Bill Russell was married to a white woman. Sidney Poitier was married to a white woman. Harry Belafonte was married to a white woman. Frederick Douglass was married to a white woman. Lovie Smith is married to a white woman. Herman Edwards is married to a white woman. Now, all of a sudden, you want to say something about Brian Flores? Come on, man.
Can I ask you a question?
Listen, let me say this one. I'm going to get off the line.
No, can I ask you a question?
All right.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, what you got for me?
Thank you. Jesus freaking Christ. The point, this is my issue, right? Is you have called in on this channel and said, Scotty, you're right. The football is bad. The football hasn't been good recently. But you won't play.
But I ain't saying about the schedule.
Mr. Ford, I'll let you go. 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 Mr. Ford, I got you. Mr. Ford, I got you on mute, my boy. Listen, sir, I let you go. Let me ask my question and answer my question. I don't need any other extra stuff. Just answer my question. That's all I'm asking you to do. Can you answer my question? That's all I'm asking you to do.
Come on.
My question is to you, sir. You have called into the channel and said the football is bad. I'm telling you, you don't win out of conference games. That does not have to do anything to do about the white man's ice or whatever. That if you can't win out of conference game, if you go play a UIW and get beat by the SWAC champions, play UIW and got beat 49-7. Tell me how good of a competition that you're really having when the SWAC, when Jackson State is only beating you by 10 or 12 points. Make that make sense to me. So just because
listen, first of all, you have forgotten Jackson State is a HBCU.
I don't give a damn. It's football.
Okay, it don't. Listen, let me tell you something. That don't mean a damn thing to me to play no Stephen F. Austin. It don't mean a damn thing to play no North Dakota State. I like the fact that they was playing that school called Lane College. I like the fact that they played Epworth Water. Why not help our own people? See, what you want us to be? You want us to be like the black church. When they brought the Africans here, They told the Africans, leave your blackness outside and then come in and worship a white man as Christ, which was a lie. See, that's what you're saying. You want us to leave our blackness at the door so we can try to fit in with some white folks.
Why would I try to leave your blackness? I don't care what you told me. I don't care what you told me. That has nothing to do with football. That has nothing to do with football.
I'm telling you,
if that's where you want to stay at, that's cool. That's cool, Mr. Ford. That's cool, Mr. Ford. If that's where you want to stay, that's great. But if that's where you want to stay, that's fine.
I don't. Quality games on
there's not 7 quality games. There's not 7. There's not 7 quality games because you don't know what your football is.
I heard y'all railing today. That's why I didn't call in. And I told you, I'm old enough. I saw Jake Gaither.
That's great.
Yes, he played Southern.
That's great.
Yes, he played Jackson State. Yes, he played Prairie View.
That's great.
But he also played small black schools.
That's great.
I'm telling you, I saw them play Allen University.
But the question,
you know about Allen University.
But you're talking about 2 different eras. You're talking about 2 different eras. Mr. Ford, you're talking about 2 different eras.
When I was in school, Tennessee State would come in and play Morris Brown. They would put.
Listen, I've never hung up on Mr. Ford. But this is my issue with that. First of all, you're talking about 2 different eras. You're talking about a golden era where 9 times out of 10, the players that are going, the 5-star athletes that were going to Alabama, that were going to University of Georgia, that were not going there, were coming to your school. So you had a high level of competition plus a high level of coaching. That has disparaged over time. You have lost that talent. That talent has gone to PWIs, and you have been left with whatever else that you think. No, it's no different than Coach DT talking about. He's gone to high schools and they're giving the 4- and 5-star players or their top players to Dion. He's like, I can't get those 2- and 3-star players anymore because I don't want to get my head beat in. But fact
you know, let me say this also, Scotty, that Jake Gaither's one of his biggest games was against the University of Tampa. He was already credible. I mean, Jake Gaither's record basically speaks for itself. But when he beat the University of Tampa, that was a big W, which happened to be a PWI. Not only that, I remember when Tennessee State played Louisville and beat them. They played a number of other PWIs and beat them. We're not saying that, you know, to lose your blackness. What I am believing, and I think that, you know, obviously, you know, Jackson State's in a nice position to do what they want to do, especially with that stadium that they're in and a whole city that supports them. But when you're building credibility, one of the things that helped HBCU football with A&T was the fact that they played the Kent States, they played the Charlottes, they played the Jacksonville States, and they beat them. So that added credibility to the level of football that was being played in the Mideastern Athletic Conference. Not only that, Howard went up to UNLV and beat them. So I want to see us beat everybody. And that doesn't mean that SWAC football is back, because it's not. The level of athletes that we have coming into the fall 2022 season is probably the highest level of athletes that we've had since, I want to say, mid-'80s. I want to say that. It's the highest level of athleticism on our SWAC squads that we've seen across the board since the mid-'80s. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. You know, and so this is an opportunity for us to increase that brand, but we've got to get some W's from other spots. And that's all I'm saying.
I've never had such a headache in my life. When does competition not matter? Like, mate, I don't get it, man. It's like it just doesn't make sense to me.
And it's not that we perceive. Look, it's not that we perceive PWIs to be better, but the fact of the matter remains, North Dakota State right now is the national champs in FCS football. Fam, you got to the playoffs and we got beat 38-14 in the first round. The team that beat us went up to James Madison and got slaughtered. You know, so looking at that, it's athletes, it's preparation, it's scheme, it's all of those things. I want to see our teams grow. And the only way you grow is to play against better quality competition or just other teams from other conferences. It will expose where you are. It will expose what you need to do.
I don't get it, man. Like I don't get it. Like it just I really don't. I'm sitting here like I'm so baffled by how in competition that because I want to see your best team play against top level competition, because clearly FAMU is not top level competition if they got mollywopped by Southeast Louisiana last year. The game wasn't even close at no point. Unless when it was 0-0, it was close. So, and I'm not saying that JSU couldn't have gone and done better or made it more competitive or whatever. But my thing is, if you've seen your team step outside of the block and get punished, PV punished, FAMU punished, like make that make sense to me, where you think your football is that good when you're getting whooped by players in your FCS division. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me, but let me take another caller. Hey, Reese, you loud. Talk to me.
Yo, Scotty, what's good?
What's good? Talk to me.
Hey, I really don't want that. I just want to say, y'all need to hit that like button. Y'all getting a free show, and the least y'all can do is hit the like button. Like, no cap.
I appreciate the call, Reese.
What'd he say?
Hit the like button. Hey, what's up, Manny? Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, my guy? How you doing, man?
What's up, Manny?
What's going on, Miss Kobe? How you doing?
Hey.
Hey, man. So, I'm just getting back on because I have to call. So, what I wanted to say live on your show, man. For one, due to fans and due to Jackson State schedule, I am now decommitted from Jackson State as a bandwagon fan. And I don't know where I'm gonna go yet, but I will let Scotty know. I also have now sent a letter to, and I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be funny. To Jackson State, Ashley Robinson, as well as Dion himself, because I grew up liking Dion. The more I listen to Dion and how he wants to elevate HBCUs, he wants to elevate Jackson State. They got out of the Southern Classic, Heritage Classic, and then I look at the schedule, and the schedule is bullshit. There's like, you can't cut a corner about that. That schedule is so pathetic that even if they were to make the SWAC championship and the Celebration Bowl again, I would still say y'all bullshit. You beat up on nothing but the block, which I don't see that happening, but okay, you beat up on the block, went and got the blocks championship, but you say that you're the best in the FCS and you're doing it's pathetic, man. And if any fan is on here and you're trying to validate what Dion did, Ashley Robinson did, because it's a whole, just hang up and unsubscribe, man. Just hang up and unsubscribe.
Facts.
Because you're not, you like fiction over fact. You don't want to believe that Jackson State literally wants to cupcake their way to a HBCU championship rather than actually going out and trying to play competition. Right? And that's how I feel. Mr. Kofi, if you think I'm wrong, Scotty, if you think I'm wrong, please let me know. That's where I'm at.
Nah, you good, man. Appreciate the call though. Listen, man, I echo. Listen, if you don't like it, like, bro, like I'm so on the unfollow me. I really am. Like, that is about to be my new just theme song.
Mantra.
Unfollow me. Like, I don't care, because I think it's whack. I just think it's whack. I so think it's whack. All right, I'm gonna go Coach Harp and then Smash. All right, Coach Harp, you're up. Hey, what's up, Coach Harp? Talk to me.
How you doing, Scotty? I wanted to talk about HBCU classics and then just moving together as a whole.
All right, talk to me.
So on the first point, before I got into coaching, I was in administration. I did a year-long internship with the MEAC in championships, particularly. So all these schools began graped for years, figuratively. These promoters have been taking money. Like, for example, the gifts that student athletes would get at the big teams, the sponsors would sponsor gifts just for the representatives, like the faculty athletic representative, the ADs, everybody like that. And then the money wasn't trickling to the schools. It was going through these promoters who were, keeping it. And for example, if you look at the CIAA, I know it's not football, but that conference was making millions of dollars in Charlotte, and they started overcharging people in restaurants and stuff in the city, just doing people wrong as a whole. So that's one thing right there. So when you look at the Southern Heritage Classic, to have something since 1990s and it garners over $30 million, and you have pennies where you can play this game and make $6 million in 2 years, I think it's a no-brainer. And then it is, conference first in regards to, athletics. That moves into the second point. I think HBCUs need to move more like Japanese baseball than Negro League baseball. The point I'm trying to make is Negro League baseball moved the wrong way. They let their 20th best player integrate to the major leagues, and then they start taking the best, and the league folded. Or if you look at Japanese baseball, they keep it homogenous. They only let a certain number of outsiders in, and the top Japanese players must play in that league, I think, 7 years before they can go to Major League Baseball, which keeps their league as a top, league around the world. So if these HBCUs took that mentality, instead of trying to, bring the smaller ones up, they can increase their facilities, get the recruits so they can compete, like you and Coach have been saying, with the North Dakota States and Youngstown State and the Townsends and the top FCS teams. The reason the MEAC is able to do that is because a lot of the SWAC teams are built off of window dressing, and the MEAC teams are built off a foundation where they have, better offensive and defensive lines and linebackers, and that's even proven in the draft. With look at the players drafted, mostly they're from the MEAC and they're in the box. So until these teams start to think that way again, like Japanese baseball, it's always going to be factors that, like the Southern Heritage Classic, that you try to drive people apart. Whereas Tennessee State, they know that their home attendance has been down for years. Fans don't like coming to see those directional Tennessee schools in Nashville. So I think they should join the MEAC as they're more built like a MEAC team in the way they think and the way they play.
Hey, Coach Trump, you got to wrap this up. You got to wrap this up. Where are we going with it?
Oh, that's it. I'm good.
I appreciate it, Coach Hart. He was on a long tangent. Hey, what's up, Smash?
Oh, that's it.
Hey, man. Look, so I'm gonna just go a few things I gotta say. One, I do agree with everything that Mr. Fo was saying for multiple reasons, but I think it's more than one way to skin the cat. You know what I'm saying? Like the other day, we was talking about like Southern schedule, and I kind of knew Jack's State schedule already, and the same thing was gonna happen. Basically, ain't no way to put it. Besides NCAT, South Carolina State, you can't name two other HBCUs to add to either of these schedules besides the one that y'all playing without calling their schedule quote unquote trash. Because basically you're just saying that without adding the PWI on it, it's trash. Now I get it. You want to, bump up the competition, but what I say about it is more than one way to skin the cat. I feel like Dion can do. He's doing it, which I don't agree with a lot of stuff he do and his reasoning, but basically we can still power this thing and move HBCUs forward if that's his goal with playing all our schools. Like I was talking to you the other day, Scotty, you know what I'm saying? And I think pretty much what Mr. Ford was saying is that, like, you know, we can give our own. The only thing that I don't like about this new wave of this HBCU hype is we are forgetting about the other schools besides in the SWAC and the MEAC. You know what I'm saying? Like the schools like Lane College. Like I know it was funny as hell when I was watching you live earlier when you was like Lane is good, this, that, and the third, but then I was glad you switched it because I was gonna get on your ass, Scotty. But nevertheless, I just feel like there's other ways we could push HBCUs forward by helping our own too. You know what I'm saying? Like let's go back to that mantra that Dion was saying about creating our own HBCU combine. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at this as like, you know, Jackson State playing all of these HBCUs. Shit, kids about to show out against Jackson State. Jackson State is the new big dog that need to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So I feel as though I would agree along the lines if you said if Jackson State would have added like NCAT and South Carolina State to their schedule. But just because they don't have a quote-unquote PWI, I don't agree that make this schedule trash. And I still feel like if the goal is to push HBCUs forward, we can do it with our own. So what you think about that, Mr. Kofi?
All right. So I agree with you to an extent. All right. When you're talking about taking over territory, the only way you take over that territory is to go into that territory. And quite frankly, the brand HBCU football, from many other people's perspectives, is okay, or it's looked at by many of our counterparts as being a lower level of football. And judged off of where we are right now, we've got work to do. Now, check this out. Jackson State had an opening with, or had an issue with, the Southern Heritage Classic. And the SWAC Classic made a deal. Now, I guess the SWAC Classic is only going to include SWAC teams. But to me, it makes sense. This is just my thought process. They could have done the same thing with, what's the name of that team? Tennessee State. Tennessee State and Jackson State and Birmingham say, hey, if you have a conversation, look, guys, we're going to still call it the SWAC Challenge, blah, 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 but we're aware of the guarantee that you're making and XYZ. Let's increase that value of the game by moving it to Birmingham. And at least create a conversation where they can try to negotiate a larger guarantee from the promoter, whoever's pushing the game. But to just drop that for a place of UAPB, which was, I don't like using the term garbage, but they could have replaced them with any other team other than them. They could have used the darn MEAC team for all I care. But
that's my point. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, Mr. Kofi. Like, because I feel like there's only so many other HBCUs besides, I'm gonna say, like NCAT or South Carolina State, maybe even Norfolk, that you could add to their schedule that we still gonna say their schedule trash if it's not.
The issue is, again, they had an opportunity to play other teams, and a North Alabama or one of those other schools would have been good just for the sake of putting it out there, or giving, I want to say, an opportunity to show the level of football that the SWAC brings to the table. You know, people are just going to look at it as just HBCU football. You know, and I want to say that when, what was that school from Louisiana that Jackson State played last year? Who was that?
ULM.
They played ULM, and I was listening to Coach Bowden's comments. He was like, well, you know, we played HBCUs before, and this was the absolute best HBCU team that we've ever played. I'm like, what kind of mess? Really? I was like, that's the best HBCU team that you played? You know, so that gave me a level of insight in regards to what they think. People say, well, okay, well, I don't care what the white people think about us, you know. I don't care what they think. You know, well, you need to care what they think because, you know, they're a part of this whole thing, you know, competing nationally and gaining national recognition. And the athletes that we're recruiting are also paying attention of the level of competition that we're playing. You know, so it's a big deal.
Absolutely. I just feel like we disagreeing because of what we want to see, and I feel like there's other ways that we can do this. I just feel like also it's like when we add like PWIs in it, like for example, like y'all just got finished talking about James Madison and whoever else won the championship. We all think they really what would it do to their schedule? Their schedule to HBCU. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to?
Well, you know, A&T is playing North Dakota State. Is it this year or is it next year?
Okay.
It's this year.
It's this year. They were supposed to play them last year, but all eyes are going to be on that game because for years A&T was the top dog in HBCU football, and now you've got North Dakota State playing. So it gives us a good measure stick in terms of where we really are in the country. You know, if you look at just where our conference is ranked, bro. How many conferences are there in FCS, Scotty?
14.
There are 14 conferences, and the SWAC is ranked 12th.
All right.
They're ranked 12 for a reason.
The SIAC is under that?
Nope. The SIAC is not in the FCS.
SIAC is in Division 2.
It's a Pioneer Football League, and then the FCS Independence, which is 4 teams. So you're literally above 13 teams.
Right. I mean, I feel y'all, man. I'm just saying, I get it, man. I just feel like we there's gonna be an argument no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we don't have that much fucking room, like Mr. Ford was saying.
Look, Jackson State, they're not forced. It's not like they're going to the playoffs, so they don't need a strength of schedule. So it's not a big deal. They can play whoever they want to play.
That's what I was trying to say the other day. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't need it. We just want to see it to push the cards forward. I don't agree with y'all. You know, like we need to play bigger schools, better schools. I just feel like it's gonna come to a point to where it's like before Deion leaves, because we always feel like he's gonna leave. I feel like everybody needs to help everybody join this bandwagon and like giving a school like Lane, you know what I'm saying? Which I get it, it's a homecoming game. Why we can't get them no money too to push them forward? Because that's black players too as well. You know what I'm saying? And like schools like the SIAC and other little schools that's out there across sports across the board, not just football. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but I don't know, man. It's always going to be a conversation. It's always going to seem like they're weak if they don't play other schools. But I just guess I don't see it that way because, you know what I'm saying? If we hype too, let's stop acting like us not playing them schools don't like it.
We're going to make well of a game, and the quality of football that's in the SWAC isn't like piss poor. It's not like bottom of the barrel. But all we're saying is let's play other quality teams so that we can get a good measuring stick, we can gain additional territory and bragging rights, and we can show the rest of the world that the level of football that is being played in the SWAC is second to none. That's what you gain. Even when FAMU back in the 80s, I want to say late 80s, early 90s, we played Georgia Southern and Irk Russell every year in Jacksonville. It was the FCS version of the Florida-Georgia game, okay? Now, Georgia Southern had won multiple national titles, but the mere fact that we were playing them was, in my opinion, still a big deal. And when we managed to beat them in 87 and beat them again in 92, it added credibility to show that we can play a higher brand of football. When FAMU was winning in the playoffs in the 90s and showing that they could compete at the highest of levels, it did wonders for HBCU football. You know, but right now, we're not playing those teams. And when we do play these teams, we're not beating them, with the exception of what A&T has done recently, as well as Howard under Coach Ron. So
I appreciate the call, Smash. I got a lot of people on hold.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Play quality opponents.
Hey, appreciate the call. I think a lot of people on hold.
Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
All right, so let me get straight to the point. I think the Celebration Bowl is holding HBCUs back. I think the SWAC is holding these teams back. And you was talking about like FAMU. FAMU was this rival in the late 90s and the early 2000s, where Appalachian State, Georgia Southern, Troy, these are all teams that they played. If you look at the teams that the SWAC played this year, not just SWAC, HBCUs in general, every team they played got blown out. Mississippi Valley played, who did they play? Give me a second. I think they played, FAMU played Southeastern Louisiana. That was 38-14.
They played Murray State. Valley played Murray State.
Yes, that was, what was that? No, they played, Fairview A&M played UIW. That was 40-9. Tennessee State played UT Martin. That was 41-20. Sacred Heart, 21-7. Eastern Tennessee, 38-6. FAMU, Southeastern Louisiana, 38-14. All these HBCUs that played last year got blown out. And then you talk about out of conference scheduling doesn't matter. But when you play any PW outside of it, you get blown out. Jackson State played South Carolina State. To me, that game didn't really matter. Before the offseason, South Carolina State was 5-5. So you telling me, like, I saw a poll on Instagram, it was like the top 5 HBCUs, and all of them had losing records, except for FAMU, Fairview A&M, and Jackson State at the time. I respect North Carolina A&T. North Carolina A&T went to the Big South with James Madison and them boys. They actually scheduled, last year when they scheduled, when they canceled the season, they were scheduling North Dakota State. When in 2016, North Carolina A&T, when they went to the playoffs, they got blown out by a third-string quarterback from Richmond. So HBCUs do not perform well. So, yes, I think the out-of-conference is important. If it was me, I think they should get their auto bid back and then start competing for the at-larges for the other teams. Because even when you send off a team like a FAMU, they're not even the number one team. So then it became, this whole controversy of, oh, well, that's not our number one team, but then that team doesn't play. So those are a couple of things that's going on. If it was me, I think that the team should start going for the bottom team. So if you're a FAMU, go after like an FIU or a USF or a UCF. Don't try to compete with Florida and Florida State off the beginning. Like Southern played, who they play? LSU. That makes no sense. You can still play an FBS team and not have it be like a blown out where you're getting your players hurt and all this. Go ahead and tackle Tulane or somebody, or Louisiana Tech, ULM. Teams that are more competitive for us to play. So start grabbing at the bottom and moving up. Start getting some of the out of conference games. And the SWAC has always been number one in attendance. It's been like that for the last 41 years, but they're last in performance. So unless you have the football aspect, it doesn't matter. You could sell out. Like I know FAMU used to, when they played in Miami, against Cookman, that used to be on Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. The reason why the SWAC don't do that is because the Turkey Day Classic and the Bayou Classic, they do it on Thanksgiving. You got 4 days off. They'd rather take the money than compete. So, I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, yeah, HBCUs are this and that and blah, blah, blah. But then when it comes down to compete, you don't want to compete, or you make up excuses why you don't want to do it or why you don't want to schedule certain people. So,
hey, man, appreciate the call, bro.
I mean, go either way.
Let me see.
Man, that was a late bomb.
I mean, he was dropping gems.
I mean, you
hey, call me live. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, Scotty? This is Finisher, man.
Talk to me.
So, I heard it early today, but I just didn't say nothing. I wanted to wait until nighttime. So, here's the whole thing about this whole situation about Jackson State's schedule. The game that they should have put on the damn schedule is North Carolina A&T. If you didn't want to play us in Tennessee State no more, put A&T on your schedule for homecoming. But the reason why they didn't do that, because A&T would want to come back and have them play in North Carolina the next year. So Jackson State ain't going to do that. They're going to stay in their little swag bubble so they can beat everybody and try to dominate people. So here's the thing. If you want to stay on that level, then cool. What about the other schools? What is Valley going to do? Are they going to put 10 SWAT schools on the schedule now?
Negative.
UAPB, are they going to do the same thing too?
Negative.
Because this situation is only benefiting the big name schools in the SWAC. It's only going to benefit Southern. It's only going to benefit Jackson State, FAMU, or whatnot. it's not going to benefit that whole conference. And I think the other schools are going to realize this in about 3 or 4 years, and they're going to say, hey, y'all getting all this money, but y'all not including us in these little money games that y'all getting. It's just only these certain amount of schools that going to get all this money from us. So when you look at all that with Jackson State, that schedule is garbage, and it's part of the 66% that ain't shit that Mr. Ford said, TSU, A&T, and Hampton and whatnot. We made business decisions. We made business decisions based on not necessarily what the HBCU culture wanted us to do, but because we were financially strapped at the time. We can't travel 10, 12 hours to the nearest SWAC school. We can't, the Texas schools are 14 hours away from TSU. It's 18 hours away from FAMU. So you're expecting TSU to give up traveling bus rides 1 and 2 hours down the road to travel 10 hours to Southern, or 15 hours to Texas Southern, but those fans don't come back to Nashville, because that's a dirty little secret. FAMU travels, Jackson State travels. None of you rest of you motherfuckers travel. And you definitely don't travel if that band doesn't show up. Because the last time Southern came to Nashville to play TSU, that band didn't show up, and their crowd did not come. They had maybe 500 in the stands in Nashville. So don't give me that crap about, okay, well, if we were in the SWAC, everything be all hunky dory or whatnot. It's only a couple of fan bases that's going to travel back and forth like that. Tennessee State will travel, Jackson travel, FAMU travel. The rest of you motherfuckers don't travel, and that's why if you really look at the attendance numbers on some of those other games when they play the Valleys in the UAPB at their home stadium, they got like 5,000-6,000 in the crowd. Ain't no 10,000-15,000 in those games. Those games are not even attended well. So I'm not mad at the SWAC. I'm not mad at Jackson State for what they did. It was kind of shiesty the way they did it, but they made a business decision. I respect that. But don't blame the other schools for not wanting to join that SWAC bubble. Y'all stay in a little bubble, and the reason why the MEAC always kicks your asses is because the MEAC schools play better competition before they get into their conference, and then when they go to Celebration Bowl, they're ready for you because you're not shit. That's why they kill you. And that's just real talk.
Thank you, Finn.
I'm out.
Appreciate it. Jesus freaking Christ. Hey, what's up, Mr. Campbell? Talk to me.
Okay, man. Listen, I want to reset this because what I think I heard, and this is why I love this show, because we're able to have discussions. That's not an argument. But we do have to reset because what Mr. Ford's talking about is from his lens. What Scotty's talking about is from his lens. And unfortunately, what we have with HBCU football, see, we can't be like the Big Ten and SEC. All they can do is talk about sports. See, but unfortunately with us, with HBCUs, politics comes into play. Finances come into play. I don't have to worry about no finances or politics. They just play a game. We got to, like my man said, how far are we going to drive to play? Who is the band coming? All these things. These are the extra things. But I'm going to say this to all my HBCU people, is that let's think about how we do on the academic side. We do not stand behind anybody academically. And we challenge everybody. We have a woman that's vice president because of academically where she went. We do need to have that same mentality sports-wise to a point. So there's nothing wrong with us wanting to challenge because, like I said, I am a big supporter of all these schools. I want FAMU to beat Southeast Louisiana. I want Jackson State to play North Dakota State. But I also know the challenges to play them. So we can disagree or have different lenses, but we need to respect each other's lens because Mr. Ford comes from a time, he's from the baby boomer generation. I understand. My uncle, granddad, and like that, forget them white folks because they got treated bad and you know what goes on. Me and Kobe's generation, we were the first ones born that weren't in segregation. Scotty is a millennial. He's the same age as my kid. He is not going to understand what Mr. Ford went through or what me and Kobe went through. So Scotty has his lens. Scotty wants to see good games. And God bless that you have that ability to think that because you didn't have to go through what Mr. Ford had to go through and think or the same baggage that me and Kofi had to go through. So that's the reason you think. That's why I'm cool with that. But I think we also cannot trash what Scotty, the way he thinks or what Mr. Ford thinks because both of them are legitimate thoughts. because of the lens that we come from. So again, to all these sports, and that's what I'm saying, we did, and this is true. I think we all got to admit this. I said this. I did not know who the hell FAMU was recruiting 3 or 4 years ago. We all know now because we're getting a better caliber of player. We are trying now. We were very lazy. But the flip side of it, which I'll give McClellan props, he is not thinking about competition. He is thinking about money. His job is to make money for the SWAC. That is his job. He don't care about Jackson State play NDSU. He care about what he said. This school gonna get $500,000. That school's gonna get $500,000. I did my job. So we have to understand it and reconcile all of these things, because it's not just that simple. Sometimes what bothers me is that we have rush like we are the SEC or the Big Ten or the Pac-12. We are not. We come with a lot of baggage, but I love the baggage that we carry because those are our bags. This is our show. This is exactly what we should do. We should have discussions. We should challenge all of this. So there's nothing wrong with what Mr. Ford said, and there's nothing wrong with Scotty disagreeing with him, because we should be able to disagree. But I want that to be said. So I don't want people to say, oh, just cut it off. No, we can't cut this off, brother. We need this conversation. So I don't even want you to say that anymore. I want you to stand in your truth and tell people to listen to your truth, just like let Mr. Ford stand in his truth and let people listen to that. Because this is the only show that we have all this. So that's my thing that I just wanted to say, because it bothers me when we get off the rails like that, because it's not that simple. We come with challenges when we try to schedule these games. You cannot be mad at Jackson State scheduling money games when they only have a $15,000 recruiting budget. That means they don't have any money. So see, we all talking about playing these games, but we ain't the one got to pay them bills. FAMU. That's why I tell you, FAMU don't leave Florida. We play in Florida. Because we have to have money to move and pay for those girls to play and all those other things. So that's the bigger thing. So with that being said, we should move when we're getting these great recruiting classes and build this money, because this is why we got to be smarter. With TV, social media, digital, we need to, and get all these bad classic games like Jackson State and Tennessee State was, because then it doesn't hurt you when you go out and play another team like a James Madison or Sam Houston, and you can do a home and home. Because like JSU was like, I can't lose that home game. So no, I'm not going to lose $1 million to go play at Sam Houston to get nothing. That's not smart. That's not good business, but that's good football. And I want to see good football too. So that's really where we're at now. So again, for Mr. Ford, I hope that you understand where Scotty's coming from, because he wants to see good football. We're discussing football, but I'm never going to disrespect the historical perspective that you bring, because that history is what this is built off of. See, we talk about our history because I know my history. Now, if you don't know your history, that's on you, but you better learn it if you're going to call in or talk about this on this show, because I'm going to check you up if you don't know your history. Because there are great players that have come, and there are great players that are now coming. That's why I'm excited. There is a renaissance. I can see draft picks coming. I see them. So Scotty, we need to have this show, but you also need to be the controller of the show and understand that everybody that says that has a great opinion, because you do a great job, brother. You do a great job. So I just wanted to say that and reset the table, because some of this is unnecessary. We need to be able to have discussions, not have arguments. That's all I got, brother.
I appreciate it, Mr. Campbell.
This ain't nothing but healthy conversation.
My thing is this, man. This is my thing. This is the
nothing but healthy conversation.
This is what gets me is the same people that say the white man's ice isn't colder are the same people complaining that they're not on ESPN. Like I have people call in, bitch and moan about, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we're not on ESPN. Oh, we're not on this. Oh, we're not on that. But ESPN is a white corporation. ESPN is white money. ESPN is Disney. And you will cry and complain that you're on ESPN Plus, and why aren't we on ESPN 2, and why we're not on ESPN flagship. So you want to be on that white program. That's what we do. Because you can't have it both ways. Like, you can't say, oh, the white man ice isn't colder, then you be complaining that we're not on ESPN. Like, then build your own. Just like you want to isolate in football, isolate in media. It's the same.
No, look, yeah, you're right. And the thing is, we've got to elevate our thought process, you know, and that's really what it is. You got to be willing to have the conversation, you know, and engage one another with thought-provoking conversation. And that's what this is. This ain't nothing but healthy conversation.
We don't have black media. So you can like this, man. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
No, we got work to do, man. It's a ton of work.
Hold on. The SWAC freaking network doesn't even show its own freaking games. You have it. Listen to what you're saying. You're saying that you're asking for ESPN to broadcast your stuff, but you have a SWAC commissioner with a SWAC network that doesn't even show its own games on its own network. That they can make a website like UAPB does, that Valley does, FAMU puts on a great production. All these teams have their own production. And you can't even put the SWAC network to get it all together to put it on their own thing. Make that, we don't have a black media. Doesn't make sense. When you have a whole freaking SWAC network, doesn't make sense. Miss me with that. But the white man's ice isn't colder. Okay, but keep begging for ESPN to put you on television then. Since how about you look at it in a holistic view? How about that? Since we want to talk about white man ice being colder. Hey, caller, you loud, talk to me.
Hey, what's up, Scotty?
What's up? Talk to me. What's your name?
Hey, Rodney, from UAPB, the one y'all always shitting on.
Yeah, they are pretty bad though.
And I send in Scotty. I send in super chats every week asking you to stop shitting on UAPB, and you ignore my super chat. I'm cool, man. I'm gonna keep sending them in because I support you. But remember this before I go on my point. We have I think 3 SWAC championship appearances in the last 9 years, and we won 1 SWAC title.
Shondo.
There's a lot of the SWAC schools, so give us some credit.
Hey, hold on. Before you go, I'm trying to get Willie Young on the show for you, so I'm gonna do that for you. I'm gonna try to get Willie Young, but go ahead, Kofi.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to tell y'all. Listen, man.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Pine Bluff, Arkansas was one of my favorite stops when we were on tour with Church Mess to Play, and Why Nots was my favorite restaurant.
Okay. Yeah, you know the bluff. Why not, Charles?
Why Not was my absolute favorite soul food restaurant on the planet. They had turkey wings, oxtail, macaroni and cheese, peach cobbler. They had all of it. But I just want to leave you with this since you're a UAPB dude. All right. So say what you want, because I'm here to stay, because I'm a mean old line. You can go where you wanna, but don't get in my way. I'm a mean old line.
Yeah, go ahead, man. What's your?
All right, man. All right. So first off, I want to say, Scotty, I had to call in today because this schedule situation is a good topic to start at with where the SWAC is trying to go. I think you made some good points because I have another friend who we talk about the SWAC all the time, and we talk about competition, and he's agreeing with you because it's like, hey, let's schedule some of these top FCS schools to see where we stand so we could grow from there. I also believe that the way Dion is looking at this is Dion understands, just like you and I understand when we watch football every Saturday, that the SWAC product is not there yet. And we're going to get there because this year, we've had 5 or 6 schools that have some hell of a recruiting class. You got FAMU, Grambling, Jackson State. Those teams are going to get better. So as that product get better, then we're going to have a better showing. I think another thing the SWAC needs to focus on as a part of this scheduling deal is for us to play these top FCS schools, you got to have the resources to travel, just like the last caller said. Facts. And I remember, I think I heard the SWAC commissioner do an interview like a month ago, and he was talking about trying to secure a TV deal at some point in the near future, where you see these other conferences with $40 million, to $60 million a year deals for TV contracts for football alone. But the SWAC, all of their schools don't have the infrastructure to actually take on a true TV deal yet. That's not like an ESPN Plus deal. And when ESPN comes in and does a ESPN2 game, they have to bring in everything, like all the equipment and everything. And a lot of these schools aren't set up from what the SWAC commissioner was saying. So I think we need to try to play. My initial thing would be this, Scotty. I know you said you want to go FCS, and I'll close it out with this. You want to go FCS first, the top competition. My thing would be this. Yeah, Jackson State. I like Jackson State, even though I went to UAPB because I like Dion. So I want to see them succeed because I feel like they bring everybody up, as well as people forget about FAMU. FAMU is a big deal. They're going to help bring the conference up also. But I think we need to go to the smaller FBS schools and try to compete and or beat them first, because what happens with those games, Scotty, is you actually get paid to come to those games. So then you're taking in the resources. You're using those resources to build the infrastructure to be able to take on a $40 to $60 million TV deal if we build our product up over the next 5 years. And then what that allows you to do when you get that TV deal is schedule at North Dakota State, is schedule these schools, because now you're not dying for a check. Now you have additional resources coming in, and you could take that money and go and compete with some of the top FCS schools, because you've taken 5 years to build up your product, and now you have the money and the infrastructure to go and take on some of those schools. And I think that's the route. I'm not too mad at the schedule like you. I do wish they would have had an FBS school on the schedule, but at the same time, I get the long view in this. Man, that's my call, man. Thanks for letting me cook. Dude.
No, man, I appreciate it, man. Great call, great insight, bro. Real talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a few more callers. Hey, listen, shout out to Spartan Warrior for the donation, for the super chat, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I try to give you as much content as I can. And anybody asking, no, Mr. Ford is not on the call line. I cannot call out to Mr. Ford. So he knows the number. If he wants to call back in, he's more than welcome to. What else? I'm gonna take a few more callers. I'm gonna take Mr. Nash because he called in earlier. Hey, what's up, Mr. Nash? Talk to me.
Hey, Scott, let me turn this radio down. Scott, looking at the schedule, Jackson State schedule, it is weak. And you've been calling it out. We do need to expand the SWAC brand. Jackson State could have played Southern Tech. Southern Mississippi. I'm looking at Alcorn schedule. They play a Magnet State, Tulane.
Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin. Yeah.
So they could have played the Island Conference schedule. And, looking at their schedule this year, I'm looking at Jackson State to go 11-0, 10-1, at worst 9-2. So, and we won't, Deion, he keep talking about competition. Yes, and Davis White champ, they should have a struggle schedule. But let me ask you a couple of this question. Do you really think Shador's junior, senior year, he gonna go out and schedule a James Madison or North Dakota State? He's trying to get him to the next level. And when you looked at the South Carolina State game, they got exposed. The Jackson State was the more talented team, but they got exposed. And I told you all year, I told you last year, Scott, the problem with Jackson State was making game adjustment, and it hurt them because they just really got that coach in the Celebration Bowl.
That's facts. Big facts. Appreciate the call, Mr. Nash.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Mr. Ford, call back in. I'm gonna take a caller before him, and I got 3 more callers, and we out. Hey, Coach. Hey, Coach Stewart, you live. Talk to me.
All
right. Hello, Coach. Coach Stewart here. Kofi, I wanted you to answer me a question. As a person who didn't go to one of the SWAC schools, but been appreciating becoming a SWAC person and following Florida A&M and Jackson State and stuff, with 90% of your schedule being in the conference, are we saying that if we don't play 2 powerhouse schools, that means people like Florida A&M, people like Southern, people like the other teams in the conference, that when you play them, are we saying that makes you trash? Is that a weak schedule? If those schools, if Southern beats one of those big powerhouse schools, and then Jackson beats Southern, doesn't that count for something?
Transitive.
And so,
Transitive property. Listen, hold on. Let me stop you right there, Coach Stewart. Transitive property does not work in football. It's all about matchups, because you could have did it like this. FAMU demolished South Carolina State. Jackson State beat FAMU. So you would think that Jackson State would have beat South Carolina State through the transitive property. That's not how football works. They walked up there and got their butt drugged. So you can't say any of that. All you can do is play the game that's in front of you, because there's so many variables to a football game. You cannot say because one team beat one team that they're going to be able to beat another team. That's why people say it's hard to beat a team twice in a season, because things change, right? So let's say Alabama A&M beats Austin Peay. That doesn't mean they're going to beat Jackson State. You don't know the matchups. You don't know how the matchups. You don't know if their quarterback gets hurt. You don't know if their running back gets hurt. You don't know if they have a horrible game plan. That's just not how football works. But go ahead.
Okay, what I'm trying to, the question really, I guess I'm asking is, just what is the SWAC? I mean, what kind of power do they represent? I mean,
the reality is we don't know, because our top teams are not playing other FCS schools so that we can measure exactly where we are. You know, the way that you acquire additional respect is to beat the people within your neighborhood or within your division, you know, and we've been beating on each other, but we haven't beaten everybody. Let's take the SEC, for instance. The SEC is known as a top tier conference because even when they beat on each other, at the end of the day, they have the hardware that says that they are the best conference because they beat the other teams from other conferences. Okay? If the SEC were not beating the ACC and the SEC were not beating the Big Ten, and the SEC was not beating the Pac-10, people would not consider the SEC as the number one conference. In order for the SWAC to be known as the number one conference, we've got to beat the people in the Ohio Valley Conference. We got to beat the people in the Missouri Valley Conference. We got to beat the people in the Colonial. We got to beat the people in the MEAC. We got to beat the people in the Big South. We got to beat all of them.
But that's what
right now, the only people we're beating is the people that are in the SWAC.
Right. And I agree with Scotty. If you want to get to that higher level, you have to build up and things like that. But my point is, they're not the SWAC is not the worst conference in the United States, are they?
Yeah, they're one of the worst conferences in the FCS. It's 14.
I think some of that is due to the fact that, again, that's how the conference is perceived. But it's not going to change until we schedule some other teams from other conferences. I don't believe that the SWAC is the worst. I don't. But the only way you're going to prove that the SWAC is not the worst is to beat the people from the other conferences.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, Coach Stewart. Appreciate it. Hey, what's up, Mr. Ford? You live.
Listen, let me apologize, Scotty, to you and Mr. Heavyweight. Now, you know I'm passionate when it comes to black colleges and black education. I'm an educator. My mother was an educator. And Mr. Campbell, you hit it on the head. Let me just tell you a little bit about me. My first 6 or 7 years in school, I was taught by all black teachers. I was taught by, I had all black principals. I was under what's called the segregation system. But guess what? I loved it. And then when I got to the 6th or 7th grade, basically white people took over our school. They took our high school first. And then they came in and took our elementary school. Let me give you a name, and Mr. Kofi knows who I'm talking about. My mother used to coach it. Scotty, do you remember Charlie Ward Jr.? He won the Heisman Trophy at Florida State.
Yes, sir. The
quarterback. You remember him?
Yeah, the quarterback.
Yeah, listen. Charlie Ward Sr. introduced me to Kofi's daddy.
Oh, wow.
Listen, yeah. Now, let me just tell you this, and y'all can tell it by me. When Jake Gaither would come to my hometown, It wasn't like a football coach came. It was like a president came to my hometown. His name would be up on the billboard. The place would be packed. Okay, so when you talk about black college sports and black about our HBCUs, I'm passionate. But let me say this first and foremost, like Mr. Campbell said, Scotty, I am so happy you here. I am so happy you here. We have always wanted somebody to talk about black college sports and somebody to bring us all together. We've always wanted that. And you brought that to us. And I'm sorry if some people thought I was being disrespectful. It's not that. It's just that I love my heritage. Okay? I'm not, you know, one of the things my mother and them brought me up on was they taught me my heritage. I didn't have to learn it in school. My mom and them taught it to me. Okay? And I can go and talk about, somebody was telling you the other day, they said that you should get Mr. Ford to talk about the HBCU. I would love to do that. Listen, I've put in a lot of time, happen. But Scotty, I want to tell you, you are a valuable commodity. I love what you're doing, but I'm just telling you, like Mr. Campbell said, I'm come from a different era. I do. Okay, I'm from an era when black people tried to stand up. I can remember the night that Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. I can tell you, know what we were doing, Scotty? We were waiting on a show called Daniel Boone. You ever heard of
Daniel Boone was a man. He was a real. There we go.
Yeah, that's what we were waiting on. And let me tell you, they came on 2 times. First time they said Dr. Martin Luther King had been shot. And I remember the girl that was babysitting me, she went into hysterics. I mean, she just was all upset. And they came about 15 minutes later and said Dr. King was dead. And I'm going to tell you, man, that happened on a Thursday night. We went to Albany, Georgia on that Saturday. My mother was from Albany, Georgia. Scotty, they had basically burnt Albany down. They had burned Albany down. But listen, Scott, I love everything you do, and I am one of your biggest supporters and one of your biggest fans. Hey, but you know how I am now. Listen, you know how I am.
Listen, Mr. Ford, listen, it's all love. That's why I always tell people you don't have a timer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, because at the end of the day, I respect you just for your knowledge. You're an elder and everything like that. But the passionate side of me, and I want to apologize because that's not how my mom raised me. I should have let you finish and to let you talk, regardless of the rant and raving you were doing. But but at the end of the day,
listen, somebody said they from Albany, Georgia. I was born in Albany, Georgia. That's where my parents are from.
But you always listen, Mr. Ford. You good with me? You always $100 grand with me, so you know you always get first.
Listen, you good with me? I just want you to keep doing what you're doing.
Always
keep doing what you do. See, when we were growing up, we had a guy named Chico Renfro. He did a lot of stuff in the Atlanta area. But Scotty, he couldn't touch you now. You got a bigger fan base than Chico had. Chico at one time was the voice of the Florida A&M Rattlers. People don't remember that.
Yes,
but he was the voice of the Florida A&M Rattlers, and he was also a part of the Negro League. He was a graduate of Clark College, but he was actually from Jacksonville, Florida. Listen, I ain't gonna let you. I'm gonna let it go. Y'all have a good night, okay?
You too, Mr. Ford. Be blessed.
Okay, bye.
Hey man, Mr. Ford's my guy. Man. You know what I'm saying? We like Mr. Campbell said, we
Chico Renfro was that dude, bro.
Who was that? I never heard of him.
He was a broadcaster. He was the voice of before the FAMU football network got established with Keith Miles. Chico Renfro was the dude that was the radio voice of FAMU football.
That's what's up. I'm gonna take one last call and we out.
Okay.
Hey, caller, you live? Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, Scotty? It's Victor from Maryland.
Oh nah, bro. I'm about to hang up on you, bro. You the dude that said Michael Vick can't recruit. Nah, I'm about to hang up.
What?
On you. Yeah.
Nah, I got like a really good, interesting take today, though.
Oh. All right, go ahead, man.
So I saw you guys were talking about the NFL like hiring practices earlier.
Yeah.
So I know just stay with me. I'm about to condemn. I gotta condemn Brian Flores for filing that lawsuit.
What?
So
I'm not about to waste my time. Anyway, hey, what's going on with you this week? I'm not about to waste my time with Victor. What yeah, I'm not about to waste my time with that young man. That boy is sad. I'm sorry.
What is wrong with him?
I don't know, man. I ain't about to waste my time with him. Hey, S-Class Entertainment. I already hung up my phone lines, and the last two numbers, they were anonymous. They didn't have the last four. So, yeah. So, yeah, I didn't.
Pastor Carney Thomas.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry, Pastor Kearney Thomas. I didn't see a 466. I didn't see a 4. Unless your number automatically goes anonymous, I didn't see a 4662 number. I apologize. But if you was a member, you know what I'm saying, it would have helped you out. But hey, what you got? What you got going for this week, Kof?
Man, plan for the Super Bowl get together, bro. We got to, you got to have your spread on.
How was I not invited?
You up in South Kakalaki. You up in South Kakalaki. But yeah, so we gonna have the scrump fried rice with the fried chicken, and if the price of oxtails magically goes down, we're gonna have some oxtails up in there with some good vittles, bro. So we're gonna eat good.
Wow.
On the Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Hey, Mr. Come on. Okay, Mr. Entertainment. Pastor Kearney, think about what you just said. You've been putting 4662 in the chat, and you said yes, anonymous. Like, how was I supposed to know that, my boy?
They say anonymous. They don't say no anonymous.
They say anonymous. Come on, Mister. You got to do better. You got to do better. I know you're probably a little older, and you're a little older in age. You got to do a little better. So either use a different phone or unblock your number when you call in, so I know when I see 4662. You know what I'm saying? I know to pick it up. You know what I'm saying? But you're not a member, so I wouldn't skip anybody. So if you would just become a $10, $20 member, you would get to skip the line.
Become a member.
Like, it's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? But try again next time.
Man. So just preparing for the Super Bowl, man. I've got a number of clients, and sometime over the next 3 weeks, I want to close down my, finish get my paperwork done for this nonprofit that I've been assigned to do. So
that's what's up. What's the Bowling Strike Zone doing this Wednesday?
We're talking family basketball. Talking family basketball, family football, family baseball. We're gonna have a family baseball coach on. We got construction going on with Bragg Stadium, stuff like that. So getting ready for the spring game. Look, bro, you should come down for the spring game.
What's your spring game?
I'll get you the date. Get you the date.
I sure would like to get that Willie Simmons interview. You know what I'm saying? You guys.
What you do? You just you want to get him on. What you talking about? Day? You want to get him on here or what?
Yeah, I want to get him on here. Oh, okay. So we got some stuff coming up. So next Monday, DJ Loose Kid. We're gonna have DJ Loose Kid.
Ooh, that's my boy.
Yeah, we're gonna have DJ Loose Kid on the channel. So next Monday, he's coming through. Thursday, I got Coach KJ Black, offensive coordinator. He's coming on to the channel. Tuesday, tomorrow, I got Dariana Lewis from Alabama A&M. She's on the channel. So we got some stuff coming. We got some hot, but I definitely wanted to have DJ Loose Kid on here with you. You know what I'm saying? So we can do the interview together.
That's gonna be hot.
Yeah, I'm saying. So make sure you guys tune in to next Monday. We're gonna have DJ Loose Kid on. That's the FAMU DJ, the guy who be getting everybody crunk and wild up. So you guys make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We keep bringing y'all the bangers. Can you play We Are One before?
Hey, did that dude from JSU Media, did he leave?
JSU Media, what do you mean?
The dude that was blocking you and stuff. Did he leave Jackson State?
Oh, you talking about the white boy. Man, what's his name? Dennis Driscoll.
Yeah, did he leave?
Yeah, he got I think he got let go.
Oh.
Yeah, Dennis Driscoll. So yeah. So but hey, like guys, but there's a ram in the bush. I will make your enemies your footstool.
Stand up. He's shot.
The first should become last.
Hey, come on now. The last first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so evil.
Don't be evil. Don't be petty. Captain Petty. I'm gonna get you a Captain Petty shirt.
And it's natural. All right, but listen, we're gonna get up out of here, guys. I appreciate you guys for rocking with us for this long. I know my roommate's probably like mad because I'm mad loud. But until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna holler. God bless.